I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just
thing playing on our minds. Long wait, but we won't give up now. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.
Hard to ignore all the things we said. I wish I could change it. A little shaky, our emotions got the best of us lately. I got issues, yeah, you got them too. Our feelings too bruised to fight. We can say a lot in a little bit. Pressure in our minds made us throw a fit. But got that kind of love and that ain't counterfeit. It's foolish and useless without your love. Without your love, turning pages, communication, maybe focus on the basics. Well, let's face it, being open isn't easy as they say it. I got issues, yeah, you got them too. Our feelings too bruised to fight. We can say a lot in a little bit. Pressure in our minds made us throw a fit. But got that kind of love and that ain't counterfeit. It's foolish and useless without your love. love. We can say a lot in a little bit. Pressure in our minds made us throw a fit. But got that kind of loving that ain't counterfeit. It's foolish and useless without your love. Without your love. We can say a lot in a little bit. Pressure in our minds made us throw a fit. But got that kind of loving that ain't counterfeit. It's foolish and useless without your love.
everybody. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve. We are almost at the weekend, so hope everyone has been surviving the week well. For those who are in school, hope your classes, whatnot, are going well. For those working, hope work isn't stressing you out too much. And for those that have a weird weekend schedule, I'm sorry if this upcoming Saturday and Sunday are not your weekend, but hope you're still having a good time. Welcome, though. This is the stream for, we're on to week 2. We've made it through week 1 for Wombo eSports Championship Series Season 1. We're in the process right now of getting the teams together, so that's why I'm kind of, getting everyone caught up a little bit, and I'm also learned that I talk a little bit too fast when I'm nervous, so I'm trying to slow myself down, So just to recap, we finished week 1. Hyper games, super awesome. We had NA Rams versus the Night Owls, a 2-0 win for the NA Rams. Then we had Yo Plays and the Coconut Crabs will be for tonight with a 1-1, and I think in the near future we'll be seeing them fight each other again. I think week 3 they'll be fighting again. And then yesterday, my team Glazed Non-Human Primates versus the Knights, also playing against today, went an 0-2. A little sad for my team, but it's okay. We had some fun. We had some little monkey noises. It's fine. So we're on to week 2. The Knights did play a game last night to finish up week 1, and now they're playing another game tonight. So God bless them. Hope they got plenty of sleep. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have the start of week 2 for the Knights versus Coconut Crabs. And for those that weren't in the stream yesterday, after tonight's game, our next one will be on Monday at 8:30 p.m. of the Night Owls versus the Glazed Non-Human Primates. And then the last one for week 2 will be the following day, Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST, NA Rounds versus Yo Play. So grab your dinner, and I hope that you can join us for all the all 3 streams. If not, we've got VODs. It's fun. It's there for you to watch. Okay, so now that I've done my whole spiel, let me go ahead and introduce to you my casting friendo today. But first, let me warn him. So hold on, please hold. Give me one moment. And thank you all for chiming in. And as per usual, we're ever so evolving. So if the quality or something doesn't seem too good, just let me know, and we'll work with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and undeafen myself. Good evening, Guabafett.
Good evening to you. I am very excited to be here.
Well, I am happy to have you here as my co-caster. How you feeling tonight?
I am super excited. I'm really excited for a nice, cool game. I saw the Coconut Crabs play yesterday. Those were some really crazy games. Some very cool champion picks that I did not expect. Soraka Seraphine bot lane. That was pretty amazing. Didn't ultimately work out, but I thought the idea was really good, and it looked really good for most of the game.
Super awesome. Appreciate your hyperness. Sorry, I had a fart. I'm like multitasking here, but excited to see how this game is going to go. So we're going to go ahead and start going into the draft. So if you've got that pulled up, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over, and we're just going to wait for the captains to go ahead and hit that R button.
So I am excited for this draft. I think it might actually, the Knights might be possibly the hardest to draft against team in the league that I've seen so far. I think there's a lot of really scary champions out of them. There's the obligatory Katarina ban against Sarah 2. There's Pike against LunarBound, and then of course there's Quinstone, who was the ban king in season 0.
Yes. There's only so many bans that you have with so many champs.
Yeah, there's the Pike ban against LunarBound that I was just saying. I would expect the Katarina ban second.
Okay, let's see it out. Also, just to note, we do recommend for the teams to wait out the full banning time, so that is why you're not seeing an automatic submit button. We really want them to think it out, make sure that, okay, that's fine. It's a learning process.
There's the expected Katarina ban.
Yep.
And then most teams so far, and by which I mean the only team that's played against them, has been mostly targeting Sarah too. But I think there are other options against the Knights. There's the classic 5 bans against Quinstone that we saw in Season 0. And there's what I was hoping for, an Amumu ban against Milk for Cookies. I was just about to start saying Milk for Cookies is mostly a 2-trick champion, a 2-trick player. He's got the Rammus Amumu, and I think more teams could look to try and ban him out of his comfort picks.
Very true, very true. And to answer Currency, we're only in week 2, so the Knights this is only their second game for the season. So for the one game that he did play, which is yesterday, he did not get to play Pike. So we're gonna keep tabs and see if eventually someone will let him play Pike, but I have a feeling not really. So it seems like Coconut Crabs went ahead and picked that Rammus because, as you said, Milk for Cookies primarily plays Amumu and Rammus, so they kind of had a feeling, let's ban the one that we don't even feel like playing, and let's pick the other one that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, I really like the strategy out of the Coconut Crabs, almost getting 4 bans, because Dorski is also a big Rammus player. So just go ahead and ban the Amumu, take the Rammus, and now what's he gonna play?
Mm-hmm. Another ban to note is Urgot. DrMcWeenBean loves to play Urgot, and I believe he did get to play Urgot a couple times in Season 0, but I think Urgot may fall into the same category as not letting LunarBound play Pike. DrMcWeenBean might not be able to play Urgot this season.
Yes, and in terms of famous picks that are still left up for Coconut Crabs, there is the Fizz for emminik, which has not been banned out yet.
Oh, you're so right.
And
oh my God,
there's
wait.
also we might see a Fizz this game. It's
wait,
incredible.
I forgot.
We'll see if he picks it on this pick, otherwise they have the chance to ban it again.
My palms are sweaty. Oh,
the Seraphine, that might actually be emminik.
What? Really?
Yeah, emminik is a big Seraphine player. He's got a lot of games on the champion.
Huh. Okay. That's okay.
Could also be a support Seraphine.
So here's the thing. Mordekaiser, unfortunately my team went against Quinstone's Mordekaiser twice yesterday. So this will be his 3rd time in a row so far for this season where he's playing Mordekaiser. I think he's pretty good at Mordekaiser. At some point I think people are going to start possibly banning, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, and the Knights have done their homework. Tom Kench ban against DrMcWeenBean. He has 7 games on that champion since yesterday. And possibly a Darius ban next to just take out the rest of his main champion pool. And the Zed ban against Sarah 2 that we saw from... that we saw yesterday.
So that's going to be a Shyvana jungle, and she is scary. I'm not sure if they made any adjustments, but her little Spitfire thing actually does an incredible amount of damage. So I'm interested to see if that's still the situation, or I'm not sure. But I'm excited to see Shyvana again. She isn't played as often. LunarBound getting onto the Leona, which. Yeah, that's a top pick for him. Went against that yesterday and didn't quite enjoy it.
Got his Rel taken away. The Nautilus also taken away from Zanrick.
You mean LunarBound?
That is what I mean, yes.
Nasus. Okay, so we're seeing the Farm Dog versus the Huehue, and we've got a lock-in for the Mao... Oh, okay, so you were right. emminik is going to play
Seraphine. That is a Maokai
Seraphine.
support, yes.
Yep.
That is emminik on Seraphine with a Maokai support.
Wow.
Not picking up the Darius by DrMcWeenBean, going Nasus instead.
Huh, that will be
We'll see if he can survive against Mordekaiser.
And, Sarah 2 picked Aurelia. We saw her play Aurelia in a scrim, and she dominated.
Very
on
good
that.
performance.
Yep.
It's been banned out a couple times since then.
But not today. So I'm interested to see how the Seraphine and Aurelia matchup is going to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and switch over to the lobby. Please hold. Okay. Alright, and as soon as the Knights figure out their team layout, we can go ahead and get started. But just looking at on paper for the team comps, what are your thoughts and opinions?
So Coconut Crabs with the Nasus, they're obviously going to want to sit back and scale as much as possible. Going to probably give up First Dragon. We might see just try to play safe. Their Tristana is also going to scale a lot towards the end of the game. Whereas the Knights, they're going to want to fight a lot early with their Leona, their Misfortune.
Okay. So how do you think maybe like early game and late game is going to go? Like who really wants to push or be a little bit more aggressive in the early game to really get that lead?
So I think the Knights are really going to want to try and get a lead early on. They're going to want to push for the first couple of dragons. But I think as it starts to get towards the late game, I think Coconut Crabs are going to have a really strong team fight.
Right.
They're going to have the Nasus Maokai front line with the Seraphine, with CC and healing and the Rammus. They just have 3 frontline champions that they have to break through to get to the Tristana and the Seraphine. Whereas the Knights has a much more bruisery comp. And also much more close range. The Misfortune outranged by the Tristana, Irelia outranged by Seraphine, Mordekaiser not exactly outranged by Nasus.
Alright, we've got a bugged lobby, so I'm going to go ahead and remake it really quick. You'll love to see it.
So I think this game might come down to how the Knights manage to convert an early lead, which they hopefully get, otherwise it might start to turn kind of bad for them, into advantages down the line. If they can secure Dragon Soul, if they can stop the Nasus from farming the entire game.
And apologies for my silence. I'm just trying to get this lobby back together again. 1, 2, 3. I'm missing. Oh, why can't I? Okay. If people
LunarBound once again having the most supportive fans in chat.
love to see it as always. Oh, okay. Everyone's doing the invite for me. Appreciate it. Did you get the invite to the new lobby?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Once they figure themselves out, then you can move on over. Yes. Very good, very good. But yeah, let's hear the fan chants go on in the Twitch chat. We've got some let's go LunarBound, let's go Milk for Cookie. So see some fan favorites for Team the Knights. Do we have anyone from the Coconut Crabs? Fans of the Coconut Crabs in the crowds? We have an homage to the CCS previous for season 0, so kind of a funny situation we got going on there. But we are queuing up. Let's go. So how you feel so far? We're going into week 2. We have 3 games going on in week 1. I don't know if you had a chance to watch all of them, Guavafet, but what are your thoughts?
I did miss the second series, but I watched the first one and the third one. There were some very exciting games. I think we have a lot to look forward to this season. I think we have some new players like Sarah 2 out of the Knights, who will be very exciting to watch this season. I think we have some returning favorites that are going to be exciting to watch. And hopefully we shake it up and have a lot less Udyr this season.
Yes, I think Guavafet, you went ahead and took a look previously at some of our analytics from season 0. maybe you can kind of enlighten some of the people who are watching and kind of like, what do you anticipate maybe will carry on from season 0, or maybe we won't see any more that you saw happen a lot in season 0?
So I have already been proven wrong. I expected to see a lot of horse, just like we did in season 1 and season 0, and there has been not any Hecarim.
Not yet.
There's not much Hecarim. I was expecting that to return, but it seems like everyone just wants to play Rammus this season. So that's something I didn't see coming. I wasn't really sure if we would see Akshan this season, but some people are trying him out, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah. New champ still don't quite know what he does other than swing around and res people. Oh, and that his ult is kind of like Lucian, but you can aim it?
So I think another thing that's going to be exciting about this game is we're going to have to see how the coconut crabs are going to be able to control Irelia during this game. Sarah too looked very scary on the champion the last time she played it, and I think they do have the tools to really, even if she gets an advantage, I think they have the tools to lock her down with the Rammus and the Maokai. Just stand on top of her and not let her do anything. So it's going to be very exciting to see how they can control that champion during this game.
It does get a little bit tricky, though, when you have the Mordekaiser that can maybe bring one of them into the Shadow Realm and stop that, or prevent them from stopping the Irelia. You also have the Leona CC with her ult and her stun. So I think while I do agree with you, I do feel like the Knights have a little bit to kind of counter their counter.
Oh, I think you point out there's a very big danger with the Coconut Crabs team comp in that I think the Mordekaiser ulting the Tristana might take away a large portion of the Coconut Crabs damage, and they might not be able to take a fight without their AD carry.
That's very... very true.
Because Seraphine's not an extremely high damage champion. Nasus can be, but he has to be on top of people.
Right, and he takes a little bit of time to build up his stacks to really get to that stage.
Rammus and support Maokai are not exactly the highest damage champions.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that QSS tax that Zanrick, who was casting yesterday, was talking about. Wonder how many of the coconut crabs are going to be spending on getting a QSS ASAP. Alrighties then. I don't know. This is your first time officially casting for the Wombo eSports tournament championship. Lots of names that we can call it. One of the questions that I like to ask my co-caster, if I have not asked it yet, what is your choice of a birthday dessert?
I like that cookie cake. I don't know if you had one, but it's like it's basically a giant cookie with icing on it. That's pretty good.
Now the real question is, what kind of a cookie cake though? Is it chocolate chip?
Oh, chocolate chip.
For sure. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Always got to clarify. You know, there's the oatmeal raisin. You know, if you're a fan of that.
That's not a cookie.
Listen. Some of us
not a real cookie.
like oatmeal raisin, and yes, it is of the wiser taste variety, you know. But this is pretty good.
There are some oatmeal raisin fans in the chat.
The Quinlan Premier League, yes, that was a
Quinlan Premier League
offered name. Kind of shut down fairly quickly, but we'll see.
So let me ask you a question that I like to ask for every game.
Sure.
If you were in this game with just the drafts, not your teammates, which team would you want to be out of this draft?
I think I would want to be on the Knights simply because I feel it's basically what you were saying, as the Tristana is really the core person who's going to be their damage dealer. Nasus, yeah, can get scary eventually, but if you can really get ahead of it and kind of shut him down and stop him from getting his stacks, I really feel like the Knights have a strong team comp where even if MF is down, Irelia can still do something, Mordekaiser can still do something. Again, I don't know how Shyvana works right now, but if she is how the way that she has been from my memory, she spits out fuego breaths that do scary amounts of damage. I just think the Knights have a little bit of more people on their team that can do more damage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do think that's a risk with this team comp going into this game, is that if the Nasus can't farm and the Tristana not even doesn't get ahead, but if she gets behind, they might have a damage problem towards the mid to late game.
Hey, oatmeal raisin can get chewy and it's delicious, okay? Alrighty, so we are loading up in the game. First game for week 2. And Golfit, just make sure that you are plussed up. And can we get some hypers in the chat? We've got 25 people watching tonight's match on a Thursday night. It's Thirsty Thursday. I hope you're all thirsty and have your beverage because we're going in.
Everyone in the chat, shout out your favorite player, your favorite team. We casters are perfectly unbiased and fair, but
now that just made it seem like we're not, but I got you, yes.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So the standard 5-point defense we see in most games. We have had an invade or two, but usually everyone's content to handshake the start of the game.
Okay, I'm at 54, 55, 56 seconds.
Yes.
Cool. All right, first game. Everyone's a little bit nervous. You gotta get through the first game first.
Having a little bit of action.
Yes, let's make sure everyone try to have fun and kick some booty. And we've got a let's go McWeenBean. Love the hyper. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I can't speak. I've got to speak slower. Okay.
So as a bot laner, I've got to ask you, what do you think the lane's going to look like early on down bottom with Leona Misfortune versus Tristana Maokai?
Oh, we've got really two great supports on both teams. Both Zanrick and LunarBound are very engage heavy, wanna go in there for their AD carry. If I'm just looking at the champs purely, Tristana with her bomb at level whenever people get it, I guess 2, can do a little bit. I don't know. You know what? I'm not intelligent enough to make that call. I think it can go either way. So that's my answer. Not a good answer, but that's my answer.
They're already duking it out. LunarBound doing classic Leona things.
Yeah, they did hit level 2 earlier than the coconut crab, so that definitely helped them get a little bit of a poke advantage. So hopefully they'll be hitting 2 soon so that Tristana, there we go, so Tristana can get her bomb, and those stacks on that bomb will definitely help.
Rammus looking bot lane. Might see him try something. And I don't think they know he's here.
Great early gank. Ooh!
Oh. LunarBound is down. That was a very early gank by Dorski, coming in sneaky. Oh, and Sarah too is here. She tried to teleport in, thought she'd get help, and she is just going down. And Elemental Lux might get caught in it as well.
Milk for Cookies is coming down as well to kind of trying to help out, but I don't think there's anything that he can do.
Milk for Cookies, pretend you didn't see anything. Get out of here.
Yep. Although, interesting pathing that he chose to evacuate through their jungle. But lucky enough, they went the other way around, so they didn't catch him out.
Really good start for the Coconut Crabs in this game. They got the Scuttle, 3 kills, very clean gank by Dorski, doing a lot of work already.
Yeah, he did. That was a really good early gank, and also the Maokai that I don't know the exact skill, but the skill that kind of pushed the Leona back really helped secure that first blood kill on the Tristana. Really, I don't know if that was really intended. I mean, Zanrick's pretty good at support to make sure that the kills go to the AD carry, so getting that first blood money onto the Tristana, pretty good value.
I will admit I don't know what any abilities are called. I hope that's not on the test.
No, it is not. I don't know any of them either.
We've also had a lot of fighting in the mid lane this game. emminik and Sarah too have just been punching each other the entire lane.
Oh, there it is. One more. Nice.
Oh, traded back.
I think the Tristana died from the minion hit, which would then give credit to Leona. So nice shutdown. But money went over to the Leona. But now Tristana has the... Oh! Okay.
emminik solo killing Sarah too in the mid lane.
Turns out Seraphine kind of works against Aurelia.
Seraphine is a good champion.
Who would have thunk? Aurelia also had her ignite down, I think because of that time that she was in the bot lane, so that definitely helped Seraphine not have to worry about that burn.
And DrMcWeenBean feeling the pain of landing against a Mordekaiser. Both in his health bar and his CS a little
wow.
bit.
Okay.
But that's the thing about the top lane, is that as long as Nasus doesn't lose, he's winning.
Okay, so blue team has a pretty good advantage right now. We've got 2-0 Seraphine and 3-1 Tristana that had that first blood money, already has her I think it's called a strong bow thingy mabobum.
So yeah, we were saying before the game that Coconut Crabs were going to look to scale and try to work into the late game this game, and it looks like they're already ahead. So that's pretty scary for the Knights.
So the thing that I don't know, and maybe somebody in chat that can kind of enlighten us, is the scaling of Tristana versus MF. I'm not quite sure who wins that. But I would think Tristana late game is pretty scary. I'm not sure who's more scary in the late game, Tristana or MF. Okay, Tristana wins late. That is what I thought. Well, definitely, there's going to be, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. The Knights definitely like to roam a lot. Sarah too, as you can see, she came down bot for a moment, tried to get some kills in the bot lane, couldn't do that, going back up. She sometimes goes into the enemy jungle, so a lot of movement that happens. So we'll need to keep an eye for that, and Coconut Crabs will definitely want to make sure that they keep their jungle warded.
Oh, and Dorski coming top lane. Quinstone is caught out. Doesn't have anywhere to go, and he's Mordekaiser.
That shield is so annoying.
He's just too tanky.
Oh no!
He just walks away. What a champion.
So close. Mordekaiser's shield is a strong one. Aurelia using her ult can't quite commit to that.
emminik forced to flash. She's going to be a lot less safe for a little while. And also interesting to note, Sarah too does not have flash. She has teleport ignite.
That is true. I mean, I think you can even like see. I mean, it's a new common hot thing for the mid laners to get teleport, and I guess maybe with Aurelia's kit, like she can jump on people. She doesn't really quite need flash. Maybe is the thought process.
It's interesting. She hasn't engaged with her Q, but in terms of getting away from people, she has a lot less options without flash.
Well, I don't know. I think Irelia would be a-okay without the flash, just making sure that you've got that. I think it's her Q available to be hoppity jumpity around, especially if you can get it reset many a times. We'll do a stack check on Nasus. He is at 102, 114. At how many minutes are we in? Almost 10 minutes. Someone enlighten me? Is that a good thing?
You know, I am not sure what a good stacks per minute on Nasus is.
Sounds good to me.
All I know is that the dog gets bigger and scarier.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice this, but the Knights got first dragon.
Yes, they did. Milk for Cookies just quietly sneaked it away while no one was looking. All by himself.
Great job for him on that.
And Milk for Cookies getting just jumped on in the mid lane. Sarah too trying to make it back on Zanrick, but doesn't quite catch him.
Really good ult by the Misfortune to really disengage that fight. To get the Maokai and
emminik got eat by Leona.
Low.
Nobody's able to follow up. A lot of action, but not much out of it. Everybody's kind of just barely getting away. Everybody's probably going to go lick the runes and get ready for the dragon coming up soon. Ooh, Sarah 2 and emminik going at it again in the mid lane, and emminik comes out on top again. And DrMcWeenBean and Quinstone also fighting in the top lane. Coconut Crabs putting up a really, really good showing this game against some of the scary solo laners from the Knights. The famous Quinstone and Sarah 2 are arguably losing lane.
Second dragon is gonna go over to the Knights. Unfortunately, the Coconut Crabs couldn't quite get there and set up in time. So for the next dragon, hope to see that they'll be a little bit more prepared for that. Otherwise, that'll be very quick to getting. Oh, we're gonna be having a pause soon. Okay. Let's see what happened.
A summoner has disconnected.
Milk for Cookies, DC.
So I guess while we're paused, this would be a good time to see where the state of the game is going. What do you think? What do you think how it's going so far?
It's going really well for the Coconut Crabs. Look at that. We've got a 3-0 Seraphine. Honestly, was kind of surprised am kind of surprised and taken aback by that, because Irelia is a scary champ. She's really great at 1v1s, and great to see that the Seraphine is able to hold her ground. So love to see that. Interested to see how that will do in the late game, because I think, as we talked earlier, she typically doesn't really scale that high, I believe. Irelia can always have an opportunity to come back, so we'll see how that goes. 4-1 Tristana, that's pretty scary. So I think right now it's going great in favor of the Coconut Crabs. Not too hot on the Knights side. So I'm trying to think right now of what the Knights could do to kind of... I don't know how to say this. Like, get closer to... I don't know. I'm just gonna stop that there. I'm not sure what the Knights need to do right now.
I think they definitely have a win condition still going forward.
Oh,
they have,
absolutely.
In their dragons, they have 2 dragons, both of them, despite being behind for the entire game so far. is they've been securing the dragons consistently.
Right. I mean, I honestly, for like the Mordekaiser, the Aurelia, and the MF, one really good fight, whether it be a team fight or just some kind of fight, can just like in a snap get them back into the game. Especially if you can get that shutdown gold on the Aurelia or the MF. I think that the game isn't so, the gap isn't that big right now. So they definitely have an opportunity to come back from that, especially with the MF ult. Like if you just position yourself really well and just kind of ult from the corner, like it's pretty good. You'll melt some people down and probably turn some fights around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what they really need to do is try and take down that Seraphine down a peg. You can see just by the items, she has the only mythic in the entire game right now.
But we'll give it a second here. Milk for Cookies is restarting his computer, so we're taking a little bathroom break. Bleh.
A summoner
And
has reconnected.
we'll go from there.
Little snack break right here in the middle of the game.
Yes. But hope everyone is enjoying the stream and the game so far. Maybe put your comments and thoughts down so far. What does the chat think the Knights need to do? Obviously, I think, again, they're not in too bad a position. They've got 2 dragons. They've got tons of champs that can, you know, again, with like 1 kill or something, can easily come back into the game. But the chat, let me know. What are your thoughts on what the Knights need to do and maybe what the Coconut Crabs need to continue to do?
Chat seems to be focused on the bonk off that is top lane, with Mordekaiser and Nasus both just queuing each other into oblivion. And we have the unpause coming out. We are back in it.
Okay, the Knights need to not fight.
And they are wasting no time getting back into it. Sarah2 is just a goner.
Farm and play passive. I really feel and lead by fighting instead of using CSC. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, did your green game freeze a little bit?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that we are in
Hit
sync.
the plus button a little bit, make sure we're up to speed.
Ooh.
A trade back and forth in bottom lane. Nova going down into the tower, but Zanrick coming back for the revenge.
That was I think it was still pretty good for the MF because she got that shutdown gold, so hopefully that will help her get I mean, her CS is already a little bit ahead as well, so maybe that will help slowly get her back into the game. But I mean, MF is still a pretty good champ. Her ult is incredibly annoying to deal with.
Ooh, a small but scary thing happening in the top lane. Quinstone and DrMcWeenBean both queuing each other, and Nasus has more health.
Aurelia coming on in, trying to get that diving in, but Seraphine, oh my god! Seraphine gets the ult with the additional assistance from the tower. It was a good one-on-one trade, but that shutdown gold is going on to the Aurelia.
A big win for Sarah too, getting the shutdown for her own life, which was at the time pretty useless. With being 1 in 4, I believe. And a lot of fighting in the top lane. LunarBound Quinstone duking it out with an Nasus and a Rammus.
Shadana's coming up around the corner. And this is going to be in favor of the Knights, and this is the comeback I think that the Knights slowly, gradually needed.
Yeah, these plays happening right now are all exactly the kind of thing they need to come back into the game. When you're behind in gold, just have a numbers advantage.
That's one thing that LunarBound is really good at doing, is surprising people and roaming all over the place. So definitely I would hope from that unfortunate turn of events for the coconut crabs, they'll want to ward a little bit more just to have more awareness of where the members of the knights are.
Oh, and speaking of roaming, here's Tristana from the bot lane to help catch out Sarah too.
Very good rotation so that they could secure that kill on her. Dragon is coming up in 1.5 minutes.
I think this next dragon fight's going to be very important. Coconut crabs really can't afford to let them take to let the knights take every dragon, especially since this will be soul point.
It will set them up
put them
to
on soul point.
Yep. It will put them for contention for soul point, which is a very huge stress factor to have when the enemy team has 3, because they're like, well, do we stop them from getting soul, or if we go for dragon, and then the other team will typically go for baron.
Quinstone proving he can still beat up Anasis in top lane.
And we're just gonna do a little stack check. 234 at 15 minutes. I think that's pretty good. Anybody can fact check me? Fact check me.
Well, it's good enough for the caster minions.
Yeah. Sarah going on, and the Seraphine ult misses. Not sure if no.
And it's going to be enough this time. But here comes the revenge squad. Can Sarah 2 get out of this?
The Leona, Shyvana, and MF are on their way though.
They could not take her out in time. All her friends came by to help her.
Really good rotation by the Knights.
The Knights are really putting up a fight. They're saying, we're not done in this game. We are coming back. And we are getting all of the dragons.
That is true. That really took off the pressure for them, for the dragons. So that is going to be a 3rd dragon for the Knights. Oh boy, 17 minutes in. Not looking too good from an objective standpoint. The Coconut Crabs really need to be a little bit more on top of their games in terms of dragon, and now it's going to be a Baron control for that next dragon coming up. Are they going to try and stop them from getting soul, or do they go for the Baron? Tune in for the next episode.
We said at the beginning that Coconut Crabs were on a bit of a timer this game, and that timer is starting to run out. They need to start winning soon.
And we are starting to see that Aurelia... Oh, actually, let's stop right there. Good dive by the Maokai. Taking Maokai, though, into the Shadow Realm. So Mordekaiser is going to be able to counter that gank and take him.
Poor Zanrick did not expect to take his trip to the Shadow Realm during that gank.
We don't have a QSS quite yet on the Coconut Crabs, so they're not afraid of being sent to the Shadow Realm. 3 top. Nasus is going to go down. Nice buff up by the Rammus. Tristana doing her best to kite. Ooh, good ult to get that distance away, but the MF ult is here to knock him down a little bit. Good Seraphine ult to get the help from the tower. Is that going to... Okay, I was about to force directed camera to go back down and be like...
Some really good play by Nova, but unfortunately, Elemental Lux showing up at just the wrong time with the MF ult and turning it around.
So I think right now the game is starting to be about let's travel together, and I think that's the thing that the Coconut Crabs right now needs to be careful of, because we're starting to see that the Knights is rotating as a team a little bit better in response, and that is making the Coconut Crabs lose fights that they are trying to engage first.
And they're getting caught out at Rift Herald. Unfortunately, they were almost done, and then they come up, they run in, just ruin the party. These are the kind of things Coconut Crabs needs. Unfortunately, they didn't actually get the Rift. They didn't actually collect the Rift Herald reward yet.
Okay, the most scary part of the Knights is here.
Oh, and now here comes the. This has just been a game of roving death squads towards the mid game. Everyone running around in packs of 3 and 4.
Oh my gosh. If there's any...
Sarah?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sarah2 and emminik also developing a very serious grudge over the course of this game. I think almost all of their deaths have been to each other.
Yeah. I will say the one thing that the Knights are really good at doing is coordinating their tower dives. We're seeing a lot that the Aurelia is trying to go in for that tower dive. Sometimes she could do it solo, but getting that assistance and having the Leona kind of try and tank some of the tower shots so that they clean it up, and then eventually once the Leona's out of the range for that tower, her damage will rotate over to Aurelia, but because she wasn't taking before, she has plenty of health, so really good coordination on the Knight's end.
Oh, Sarah2 getting too greedy for the turret in the bot lane. She wanted it and she paid the price.
Alrighty then. A lot going on. Last I saw the score was like, I don't know, 7 and 4. Oh, okay. Taken to the Shadow Realm. Seraphine used her ult. Ooh, nice Sonya's to avoid that bonk, but I'm not sure if you can... Yeah.
This is an extremely violent game we've had so far. Nobody wants to sit back and farm this game. At least not anymore. We had it for a while.
No. This is a get your butt buddy and travel the map.
And now is a very important time. Mountain Dragon's coming back up.
Oh,
and
yes. Yep.
Both teams really, really want this one.
I'm a little bit nervous of the positioning for the Coconut Crabs.
Coconut Crabs has control of the river right now. They're all waiting.
Ooh.
The Knights managed to walk in, though.
The Coconut Crab seems a little bit split out, though.
Oh, they're split up. The Ram is jumping in. Shyvana's in. The MF ult, but it doesn't get anybody. Zanrick interrupting the MF ult. But it's not good enough.
Nope, and it looks like Soul is going to go over to the Knights.
Unfortunate. Such a good play by Zanrick, stopping the MF ult almost immediately.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Coconut Crabs did not have Seraphine, which I think is a huge part of their team comp, especially when you want that Seraphine ult. If you can land it on all 5 people, that is a fantastic time to try and take some of the Knights out. They just didn't have the Seraphine. The Knights knew that they didn't have Seraphine, so they took advantage of that.
The game very even until a second ago, now looking very scary for Coconut Crabs. Seraphine trying to stop the Baron, but she can't do it.
That didn't stop her back?
I'm not sure about that one. Apparently not. Riot Games says so. That did not count. So now the Knights are going to maybe look to try and end this game with their Baron buff, try and get some I don't think they quite have the power to end the game, but they're going to try and take some towers and get some of that gold that's standing on the map.
They have really good split push potential right now, but it seems like Coconut Crabs are going to say, nah, we're not going to allow you to go any further with that Baron buff in the top lane. However, Mordekaiser is doing the split push thing in bot lane.
Mordekaiser gearing up a split push. Coconut Crabs using the strategy they've been practicing throughout the game so far of getting up on Sarah2.
That Mordekaiser is looking pretty scary though. 5-1, has 300 shutdown gold. I think soon the Coconut Crabs, I know that they've been putting a lot of focus on the Irelia, which is good, and they should continue to do that, but they also need to keep an eye out on that Mordekaiser bot lane. He's just vibing. He's having a little party down there, you know?
Absolutely. And it looks like the Knights not managed to get too much out of this Baron. They got one turret in the top lane, and Quinstone's pushing in on the bottom lane.
Teleport coming in by the Irelia. Very good.
But they've got too many people there. They have just so many teleports coming in.
Nice Tristana ult into the tower to get the assistant. Listen, tower is the 6th champ in this game.
A bunch of kills coming in across the map. Action bottom lane, action mid lane, and ultimately even, which at this point is good for the Coconut Crabs. They can just wear out the Baron buff and try to get an Elder Dragon. They still have very much of a chance in this game.
Holy monkeys. Tristana! Now just trying to get another bunk onto the Fiona.
Very large dog trying to fight 3 people at once. Can't quite make it happen.
Nope. Milk, if you did that for the stream, we caught it. Don't worry, we got you. Alright. The Elder Dragon is coming up in 2 minutes. Along with Barry not far away. I think the Coconut Crabs will really want that Elder Dragon, being that they don't have soul. And then from there they might want to shift over, hurry on over to the Baron. I think that Elder Dragon will help give them a little bit more of an advantage when you've got the
Yeah, the Mountain Soul is certainly very scary, but it's definitely still possible for Coconut Crabs to win this game. They're not behind in gold very much, just behind in Dragon.
Oh, I need to take a little breather. There's so much going on.
So what do you think the perfect team fight for Coconut Crabs is going to look like? What do they need to do to win? Because the team fights recently have not been going good for them.
It is unfortunately heavily reliant on Seraphine landing a really good ult. You probably want to get that ult onto the Irelia and the MF if you can do that. And take advantage of that CC time to get the Irelia at least out of the picture. MF is still doing pretty well. She's 5-3. She's got a bounty on her. Items looking pretty good. Her ult will forever be scary, but I think what the Coconut Crabs need to do is really coordinate their ults together. That Maokai lockdown so that Irelia really can't be jumping on people. Get that Seraphine ult on Irelia. Like, just keep CCing her. But the one thing that they do have to be careful of is the Mordekaiser. If he's off on the side and he takes, let's say, Seraphine, super important in a fight, that will completely ruin the Coconut Crabs. Okay, I don't know if you want to take the fight now.
Yeah, the Seraphine ult hitting no one, so this fight might not go too well for Coconut Crabs. The MF ult gets to go off.
Great positioning by emminik and the Tristana, but it's just not enough damage. They're so tanky. Okay, she does get burned down. Zanrick doing her Maokai best. His Maokai, sorry.
I did not know you could actually jump out of the Mordekaiser pull like that. And
it looks like the Elder Dragon is gonna go over to the Knights, which is really scary. Is Tristana gonna try and make an attempt to steal it with it? Nope.
Very scary for Coconut Crabs. It looks like they're very quickly running out of options to win this game.
So even though the Coconut Crabs had a really, really, really good early game, I think they made a lot of accidents of getting caught out or taking on fights that they couldn't actually really take on with a really good rotation that the Knights had. And that allowed the Knights to kind of have a really good comeback. And with that, yeah, the Mordekaiser is scary, the Aurelia is scary, the MF is scary. That late game that the Knights have is really starting to show and become a little bit of a challenge for the Coconut Crabs.
Yeah, and I think we are seeing the thing that we discussed earlier on with Coconut Crabs having a bit of a damage problem. It seems like it's hard for them to kill the tankier members of the Knights like Mordekaiser and Shyvana.
Yep.
They just have their entire team wail on them and they're still alive.
I mean, not only that, they've got a dedicated Leona as well as a meat shield.
Right there we saw
no,
LunarBound was caught out and he didn't even lose half of his health. DrMcWeenBean though, showing he's not at all scared of Aurelia.
That's a good takedown, but now that gives the opportunity for the Knights to get a Baron, and they are melting it. Melting it. Did they do? It is now theirs.
And that is another Baron for the Knights. They haven't had a lot of success so far really pushing into the inner towers of Coconut Crabs though.
Yeah, but with this Baron buff and the Elder, I think now is the chance to do that.
I think Coconut Crabs have one, maybe two more team fights to lose before this game is over.
Yeah, so kind of going off to what some of the people are in chat and saying of having that grievous wounds, you will need that. Tristana now has that. I don't know what the AP equivalent is. Maybe it is this. Yes. Okay. So the Coconut Crabs has grievous wounds now, so hopefully that will help them in melting some of the tankier people on the team. But regardless, the Knights very hard to kill right now, and like you said, damage.
Someone in chat also pointing out the Knights are doing a very good job of controlling vision. Zanrick's trying to clear it out right now, but if you look around the Baron pit, it's all red. The Coconut Crabs can't see anything.
Ness is getting caught out just a little bit. Maokai L having go down. MF all being used up to the corner as she should.
Zanrick once again stopping the MF hold. But it's not enough again. DrMcWeenBean trying to make it happen.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, so staying optimistic. The top and the bot lane are being pushed out kind of in favor for the blue side. So they've got that going for them, but they do have the Baron and they can just march on up onto the mid lane. Ooh, Seraphine get a little, yeah.
The Knights pushing into the base, going to possibly look to end here with emminik still dead for 40 seconds.
Yep, and
they still have that.
They still have that Baron buff. So look, I mean, just look at that tank minion with the Baron buff. They're just shooting at it.
His cannons are just blasting away, but they're forced to back off. It's not over yet.
Oh boy.
Zanrick finding them out with his little whatever those are on that Maokai skin. Little cats.
Okay, so we've got the pings going on for the next Elder Dragon coming up in just almost right about now, a minute. So that's another fight that the Coconut Crabs have to contend. I think if they can get the next Elder Drag, I think that will really put them, maybe give them an opportunity to really get back into the game. Otherwise, I think if the Knights get the next Elder Dragon, that might... Ooh.
This Elder Dragon is likely their last chance in this game.
Unless you can somehow wait it out.
And they're very much not giving up. They're fighting for vision. They're setting up. They're not getting caught by the Mordekaiser in a bush.
Nasus is trying to put some pressure on the top lane. He does have teleport, so he can teleport down for that Elder Dragon, which is going to be up in 13 seconds. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even talk. I'm so stressed out for both teams.
I don't think Nasus can afford to be up. Oh, but Sarah, too, is looking to backdoor. She's hanging around their base.
Oh! Is she expecting? They have to answer that.
This is very... I think... But Nasus is going top. This is a very interesting game
Oh my
state
god,
we
what
have
is
right
going
here.
on? Okay.
It looks like they're giving up the Elder Dragon in exchange for pressuring top lane and saving their base.
Oh no, Sarah. Ooh.
Nasus taking the inhibitor turret. Gonna take the inhibitor. Nobody's there to stop him.
Good flash to get out of the MF ult. That gives them an opportunity to still hold the door.
If they can hold the base here, this could be really big for Coconut Crabs.
They do have the Elder Dragon though. Mordekaiser is going on to the
Zanrick
base.
is dead so far.
Oh. Oh no. Did the game freeze for you?
My game just froze.
Okay. We're in a forever loop of hearing the Zonias.
The Eternal Zonias.
The Eternal Zonias. That's my new band name. Let me see if we... No. Okay. Spectator view is just dead. Oh my god. What is happening? Hello?
Some technical difficulties.
Oh
We're
my
gonna
god.
find out what happened in this game in a minute. Meanwhile, you can experience the hallucinations on screen. This is what it looks like when you dream League of Legends.
It's the Eternal Zonias. Okay, well, let me just check real quick.
Did one of the teams surrender? Did Coconut Crabs surrender?
No. So typically,
explode?
this is normal. Don't worry. This is normal. It's a bug
Completely
that
normal,
happens.
Caster Ball?
Yeah. Whenever it's in spectator view, it sometimes freezes. Being that they're on the base, I'm going to assume that the Knights got that. Oh man.
We're gonna find out really quick what exactly happened.
Okay, we're gonna go over here. But yeah, okay, so it looks like game one went to the Knights since the game froze on the Coconut Crab's base. So,
unfortunately, did not manage to make it happen. It looked like they had possibly a really good plan towards the end there. DrMcWeenBean actually took the inhibitor turret. If they could have managed to survive that last push, they would have had some map pressure and could have maybe made something happen.
Yeah.
So a very valiant last effort from the Coconut Crabs.
And that was the thing that we were so afraid of, right? It's just late game, Irelia, she just does so much. Seraphine gets so squishy. Like, you have to commit a lot of CC onto that Irelia late game. But then you've got the Mordekaiser and the MF. It's like there's only so much that you can do. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do for game two. With that, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will be back for game two.
bring me home. And I want something I can hold that's worth this waiting cold. And I want something that is real, something to make me feel alive.
You turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. You're shining for
Alrighty then. Man, those 5 minutes go by real fast. Welcome back, everyone. We are on to game 2, the final game for tonight. First game for week 2 of the Knights versus the Coconut Crabs. I think both teams are ready to get in onto it, so I'm going to go ahead and deafen. Guabafet, you here? Whoops, sorry, I didn't give him the heads up. Oh, Gucci.
I am here.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get to give you a heads up. Okay, looks like both teams are ready to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the draft website. If you already have that opened up, I'm gonna let both captains know that we are good to go.
I do not have the draft up.
It is
Where is it?
in the casters chat.
Is it the same one from the first game?
No, it is the one that Quinstone posted at 10:10 p.m.
Okay, I am here.
Okay, cool. All right, so, going into game 2, I'm trying to get my breath back there, but coconut crabs, as per usual, are going to go ahead and ban that pike. I think we're still going to see a cat ban. What do you think the third ban for the coconut crabs would be?
We probably see the cat ban again. I would be surprised to not see a Mordekaiser ban this game. I think Quinstone might have gotten away with that too many times.
Yes, come on. I mean, yeah.
When somebody has success on the same champion over and over
Three
again.
times in a row, my team should have banned that out on the second game. God dang it.
Can't just let them play it forever.
It's annoying. There we go.
And there it is. There it goes.
4 times. 3 times in a row. Call me silly. 4 times.
So Quinstone will have to actually dig into his champion pool. We might see Jax. We might see Wukong. Might see any other crazy thing that he plays.
And oh my gosh. Okay, so we're seeing the milk specialty of having that Rammus. That's going to be pretty scary, as we saw or some people had saw in the last game. And even though the Rammus was on the coconut crabs team, Rammus just has a really good early game gank potential. So interested to see if First Blood is going to come over with the assistance of a Rammus help. Coconut crabs are going to pick up the Amumu, which is the other champ that we were talking about in the previous one, but was banned.
Very newly buffed.
Yes, with his quick Q cooldown. So glad to see him back in. Well, actually, you know what? I have seen people Amumu support.
I think it's the same cooldown. It's that he has charges now.
Right.
He has 2 Qs.
Yep. Sorry. Yep. Misspoke.
So I do like Rammus. I don't know if I love Milk for Cookies having such a priority on Rammus because he's a very counter-picky champion. But if it's a comfort pick and he plays really well on it, I think it's good to let him have it.
And especially, I mean, like, he's an annoying champ, you know. He just gets tanky, he rolls in, and he just does what he needs to do, which is peel and keep, you know, that protection for the carry. So, I think overall, it's still a pretty good pick, especially the Knights, as we saw in the last game, they get pretty beefy. Now we have a Rao, who's another beefy champ. I would like to see the coconut crabs have a little bit more damage this game around and be prepared to counter or deal with the tankiness that the Knights will eventually in the late game have.
The Knights really living up to their team name with their drafts so far in the season. Constantly drafting these big, heavy, all melee, all close range.
Me protect! Me wear my knight armor and protect.
And got their armor on and they're ready. And we do see the Fizz banned out. Although it was available this game also. It is now banned out. And the Tom Kench banned for DrMcWeenBean once again. We'll see if he's going to go back to the Nasus or maybe his Darius this game.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Knights are banning out DrMcWeenBean's 2 current favorite champs, which is Urgot and Tom Kench. I think DrMcWeenBean really wanted to play Tom Kench, and they're just saying, nah. We are seeing that Seraphine mid again. So emminik is saying, you know what, it worked for the first half of the game, and maybe he's you know, not too happy of his performance on the first game, and just saying, you know, this will work, and I do believe in him. So
I think it's good. He hasn't lost confidence in the pick.
Yeah.
He knows it's good. He knows he can play it. It's just didn't work out. It worked out for quite a while in game 1. It just couldn't work it in the late game
Right.
with the team comp that they had.
And the Coconut Crabs did ban the Irelia. So there are 3 bans on the mid lane. And we are seeing that Akshan come back, which unfortunately my team had to face last game. You just can't ban out Sarah too, but hopefully the Seraphine versus the Akshan, maybe that will do a little bit better. Quinstone has been practicing the Gwen. She is pretty good right now, so interested to see how that top lane fight is going to go. The Jax pick is pretty good for Gwen though, because she has that I think it's her W, where if you try to throw a projectile at her, it just becomes null and void. But
Does Jax just disappear from the game if he tries to jump at Gwen?
oh, interesting.
I don't think Gwen's W immune sleep strike. Unless I'm very wrong about that.
Wait, I never thought about that.
Goes back to the age-old question of does Yasuo wind wall kill Lee Sin?
Somebody fact check that. If Gwen times it perfectly, does that make Jax's jump null and void? Because then that is something pretty useful. But otherwise, Gwen doesn't really like to take on melee champs.
I do think Jax is a good pick against Gwen because her W is pretty much useless. None of Jax's abilities are going to get countered by it. It's a button that's not going to do anything at all in lane.
Okay.
But outside of lane, I think Gwen is a very good pick into what team comp that we saw from Coconut Crabs. The Varus, the Zyra, the Seraphine, none of that is getting in. And the Amumu, none of that is getting in against the Gwen.
That is true, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the lobby really quick.
So I think I really like the Coconut Crabs draft this game. I think it does well into the draft of the Knights pick. I also really like the Gwen pick from Quinstone. I think that was very smart into the draft that Coconut Crabs was showing. So I think we're going to have a really exciting game. I'm excited. And the Sarah 2 Akshan, which we saw previously, which was very scary.
Yeah.
I think you could speak personally to that pick.
You're opening up wounds that haven't completely healed yet. I'm just kidding. It's all fun and games. We're all friends here. Yeah.
I think Coconut Crabs also drafted well into the Rammus first pick. They have 3 magic damage champions. You're gonna stack armor. We just won't hit you.
So if we're looking at just on paper of the team comps, what are your thoughts?
So on paper, I think I'm gonna have to give the draft to Coconut Crabs. I think I like their versatility more. I think they have a lot of utility. I think they have a lot of poke, which is going to be hitting hard against everyone that isn't Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they get collapsed on by the Akshan, by the Rail, by the Rammus, I think they might have some trouble. They have some swishy champions, some non-mobile champions in the Varus and the Syra and the Seraphine.
Yeah.
So I think going to be a very dynamic game with how the teams are interacting with each other.
I think I'm slowly starting to pick up the Knight strat of they have a lot of engage. Let's just dive on in there and quickly get onto their carry and slowly and pick at the team. That Rel is going to be real annoying. The Rammus coming in with his taunt and his ult. Gwen being able to jump on. And like you said earlier with her W being able to make some of the Coconut Crab's abilities null and void. Akshan, from what I've seen, I don't know. He just does things from far away.
I think the player to watch this game is going to be Quinstone on that Gwen, on how he's able to make that work. I think a lot of the game can hinge on how Gwen's W is basically a second ultimate.
Oop, something happened here.
Uh-oh.
Wrong champ pick.
Technical difficulties. We accidentally picked the wrong champion.
So chat, let us know your thoughts. What do you guys think of
Yes,
just purely
to all-
looking at the champs?
I'll beat it out of you.
What do you like? What do you not like?
The league experts in chat. Who's winning
Yes,
this game?
the ones that have way more knowledge than any of us.
I saw some strong opinions in chat the first game on how it was going and what people should do.
The team with the pretty art, I agree.
But which team is that?
Ooh, I mean, Seraphine's kind of pretty. Okay, well, she's like, oh, I like Gwen though. I like the design of like the doll kind of snip.
Which team has the most girl characters?
Okay, the Knights have 3, and Coconut Crabs has 2.
Well, there you go.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, let me ask chat here. Gwen or Seraphine? I don't know. I think I like Gwen's overall, like, aesthetics more than Seraphine.
We have an actual opinion from Zanrick. Both teams have good wombos. How engages and disengages happen on either side will make a difference.
Exclamation point.
And I think that is true. I think the Rel engage and the Rammus engage from the Knights is pretty big, and then the Amumu engage with Seraphine ultimate, and Varus ultimate, and Zyra ultimate out of the Coconut Crabs is a lot of abilities that can all stack on top of each other.
Oof, I'm gonna take like a couple, like a minute or two, just to catch my breath and to feed my cat real quick. But chat, just let us know. And also, as per usual, we do have our post-match interview after the game. So since we finished game 1, please feel free to jot down any questions that you might recall or thought about during game 1. And then as game 2 is happening, also please feel free to drop that down as well, and I will scroll up and down through the chat just to make sure that we try and catch everyone's questions. Again, we'll please try to keep it sportsmanlike and not really negatively calling out anybody. We do like the meme questions though, so that is also acceptable. I will be back in just a minute. Meanwhile, Gobafet, feel free to...
I will entertain
yes.
chat. So, hello chat, just me and you. So, I think this game is, I think Cyanamore has a good point. It's going to come down to how these team fights work out, because there's a lot of really impactful abilities on both sides. I also think that the Akshan roaming out of Sarah 2 is going to have a big impact on the early and the mid game. Sarah 2 is a very known roamer. She spends a lot of her time not in her own lane, checking out other people's lanes. And I think teams are going to have to adapt to that as the league goes on. Going to have to watch out for her.
Oops, sorry.
Why don't you play a real game like Heroes of the Swarm? That is a good point, chat.
Heroes of the Swarm? Is that a new game?
I think that might be new.
Oh my
I think,
god, wait! I want to play Heroes of the Swarm.
I think that's the new MOBA released by Bethesda.
Is gonna be like a MOBA of like we're all different kinds of like bugs or like flies? Or
honestly,
bees! Yes!
Honestly, I think Wombo eSports might have missed a big opportunity to switch to Pokemon Unite for their first season.
Oh my god. I actually haven't had a chance to play that game yet, so I have no idea. But I've
Seraphine
heard
mid
things.
lane? Why would you do that when you could have a Snorlax mid?
Oh, that'd be cute. Big fan of Snorlax. Hey, here's a question for you. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, that's a very hard question.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I could answer that in such little time as we have to wait. Because there's just so many good choices.
Okay, maybe list like some of your favorites then.
Well, let's see. I have to give an honorable shout out to my favorite starter, Chimchar.
Okay.
He evolves into Infernape. He carried me through my first playthrough of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
Beat the whole game for me because he's just really good in that game. Tell us about tabletop attempts to replicate Pokemon. I don't think anyone has ever done that. I'm sure it would be very exciting if they did. Monkey. Some very insightful comments coming out of chat about this league game that we're about to have.
I mean, we're just all so hyped. We don't know how it's gonna turn out. I'm glad to see that Seraphine come back again, and that he's not entirely, heartbroken or deterred from playing that Seraphine.
Socks, there is a rumor that your team's comms, you communicate entirely in monkey noises, just in case the other team is listening in.
Yes. The my key player for that gave a little sampling last night of our language that we've developed. Can't just give the whole dictionary out there, so otherwise people are gonna know what we're talking about.
You might want to try to keep that under wraps, or teams might start banning Wukong out against you.
Oh, you think Wukong is gonna be our? No. There's another hidden non-human primate up our sleeves.
Okay, we've successfully stalled for long enough, and the game is starting.
Alrighty, well, let's get some hype up in the chat. Let's hear those cheers of who you're rooting for, whether it be the team or somebody you personally just have a romance towards.
Hype in the chat. We'll see if there's any invading. It looks like the coconut crabs have a plan going into level 1. They're doing something.
Yeah, so it is typically in the second game where we start seeing teams get a little bit more brave of coming together for an invade.
Doesn't look like they're going to get much out of it. Looks like they got caught. So before this game starts to get real spicy, I gotta ask again, what do you think? If you were in this game, which team comp do you want to be?
Oh.
What speaks to you? Amumu, Seraphine, Rel? What do you want on your team?
Oh, God, you're asking very difficult questions that I don't have answers to entirely.
Well, I'll put my non-existent on the reputation on the table. I think I'm going to give it to coconut crabs for this draft. I like what I see.
I don't know. I think what makes me nervous is the Zyra, because she's a little bit squishy. But she does, or she has the ability or the potential to output a lot of magic damage, but I mean, eventually Rel won't really care, I think, about that. So I don't know, man.
It is worth noting that the Knights team composition does have a lot of very new champions on it, which is a big factor in their favor.
Also, is it just me, or does the Rammus and the Akshan on the scoreboard show with no items, which is just physically impossible? So give me a second.
I did not have the scoreboard up, but I do see items. Rammus has the jungle item. Akshan has a longsword.
Oh no. Okay, well, I don't see any items. Oh shit. Oop. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, in the meantime, Sarah too is getting ganked in the mid lane. Once again, an early gank by Dorski, although this one does not seem to be going quite as well as the one from game 1 did. It does chunk out a lot of Sarah 2's health. And, oh, emminik going down. Sarah 2 actually making the 1v1 happen after the gank ended. The Akshan passives are just a lot to deal with in the early game. So much free damage out of his kit. Meanwhile, Quinstone and DrMcWeenBean fighting in the top lane. But here's Milk for Cookies rolling in. Just the right time. So both of the junglers putting in a lot of work immediately in this game. Mumu and Rammus are both really good early game junglers. Rammus, as soon as he has his taunt and his power ball, he can make things happen. Mumu, ever since his changes to his Q, he's a lot less reliant on his ult for ganking. He can actually stun you twice in the same gank.
That is true. I guess the only thing is that the Rammus, with his Q for rolling and everything, it does allow him to kind of roam a little bit quicker all over the map versus the Amumu.
Yeah, the Rammus can get around a lot. Amumu's looking top lane, but it looks like the Jax is too pushed in for him to make anything.
Love to see. Spam this sound to help LunarBound. Love it.
A lot of LunarBound fans in this league, I've noticed. Very popular player. And a very good player.
And a very good person. Lovely human being. As stressful as it can be playing in this kind of tournament, I will say we do have quite a few, or a majority of really good characters in this
Absolutely.
tournament.
At the end of the day, it's all for fun.
Making friends.
No one's sponsored. No one's getting a trophy.
Nope, just a scratchy sticker that might smell of cherry or oranges, whatever scent you want.
I love sneak.
Smell of victory.
No one's getting a crab thrown at them over these league matches.
I mean, you could. We could make it happen. I could go to the store and buy crab and throw it at somebody.
Sarah too, like I was talking about in my stalling period. Sarah too loves to roam, and with Oxtron, she's invisible, so you don't know she's coming. But looks like they didn't quite get the timing right, and it turned out pretty badly for them. LunarBound actually getting killed.
Oh! The plant!
And
Root!
Elemental Lux also almost going down.
Oh my god.
I think an important thing with this bot lane matchup is how big of a range advantage the Coconut Crabs have with Varus Zyra over Misfortune Rel. They have a lot of poke power and a lot of safety, as long as they play it correctly.
Rammus looking into trying to get a kill off of the Varus because he was low on mana, but there's no one else to help him out.
I think he may actually just be trying to catch the wave, and he got a lot of damage for it.
That was a really good disengage though, that was going on in the bot lane by the Coconut Crabs. Ignite being used on that Rel to kind of get her down a little bit more, and missing some of the CC, I believe. Also, I think Akshan had missed her boomerang thingamabobble.
Sarah 2, no teleport this game, choosing to go Ignite for the extra kill power. Which actually, I think that might be what turned the tide at level 1 against emminik, which won her the 1v1 for first blood. Might have been the Ignite.
Okay, Rammus looking to get cut a little bit, but he is fast and he is tanky. He don't care, so everything is Gucci.
Rammus too fast to be called out.
He fast boy.
Coconut Crabs, I think, are going to be a lot more on top of the dragon this game. They do not want a repeat of last time.
Knights are doing a really good job, though, of clearing out their vision.
Yeah, we have a very serious vision war going on in the bottom lane. With LunarBound and Zanrick in the match, there's going to be a lot of vision battles going on.
The Coconut Crabs need to come on over and help him move out.
Dorski being forced off of his red buff, but will they get collapsed on by the rest of the Coconut Crabs?
Okay.
It looks like they are in very, very much the wrong place right now.
Wow. He's one little boop. Howard's gonna get it. Oh, he's gotta block it, block it, block it, block it, block it. Nice.
Blocked, and Sarah too gets shut down. That was a really, really good series of events for Coconut Crabs. The Knights just getting way too greedy, chasing Dorski all the way to their base wall.
Oof, 9 minutes in.
And setting up for the dragon in the aftermath of that. Dorski and Nova are just going to go for the dragon. There's nobody there to stop them. Seraphine's coming down. Rel is coming up. Are they going to be able to stop this in time? No, they're not. They get the dragon. They might get a kill for it, though.
Nice Amumu ult.
A really good turn of events for the Coconut Crabs, getting the dragon and 3 kills for it.
Akshan looking to try and get that kill onto the Amumu because it's pretty low. But Seraphine is coming in to answer. Needs a little bit of help from the rest of the team. Zanrick coming in. Lands the root. Great job.
Zanrick is showing up again.
Yeah, and that is exactly, I mean, when you're playing in a game where it's 5v5, you're on a team, you have to communicate and you have to actually respond to what's going on. Because normally in a solo or duo queue, they don't really respond. So it's really important that all the members are aware where each other is.
Yeah, that's a good point. In solo queue, everyone is blind and deaf, so they can't hear you. They can't hear you screaming when they're 10 feet away. But on comms, you can just say, "Hey Zyra, I need help right here."
Right, and I think that fight that happened in the jungle, where I think 3 or 4 members of the Knights were in that red jungle, and Amumu was by himself. I mean, it takes some time to walk, but the Coconut Crabs came a little bit late to help out that Amumu. I would have to look back and see if they moved a little bit earlier.
It was all planned. He was just baiting.
Okay, yeah, we'll say that. Bait. All according to plan.
So far, a really impressive performance in this game by Zanrick, I think. He's been in the right place at the right time for a lot of important kills that happened.
Yeah, proving me wrong. She's squishy, but she's putting out the damage and rotating as needed, landing those roots.
And once again, the Knight's getting caught out. Oh, so here's backup. And the Seraphine ult.
Emminik is like, justice for the Seraphine. Okay.
Once again.
So, Coconut Crabs is looking really good early game, which is what we saw in the last game. And really, and they're being way more on top of being on top of the objectives. So I'm really hoping to, or interested to see if they can continue that. Otherwise, in the late game, the Knights are going to get gradually tankier and tankier. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out in this game for the blue team still. Shelly.
Unfortunately for Coconut Crabs, Milk for Cookies does steal the Rift Herald from them, and he dies for it. But I think that's not too bad. I'm not sure he was worth that much gold. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, he's got it in his inventory right now.
Oh, yep, he did pick it up.
I think there's a very important difference between the early game of this game and the early game from last game. Last game, Coconut Crabs were ahead. But this game, they're ahead and getting the objectives.
Right.
So it's very scary for the Knights right now. They're starting to fall far behind in this game for how early it is.
Yeah,
so
but
we're gonna need to...
I think they still have an easy potential of... I mean, we saw it in the last game where the early game was a little bit rough for the Knights, but they were able to turn it around. So that's where I get a bit concerned. For the Coconut Crabs is them eventually losing their momentum. Ramus getting a little bit more tanky. Rel getting a little more tanky.
it's very possible. I think that could be how the Knights can come back into this game. But what they really need to do is they need to be more careful, and they need to communicate better with their roaming, because I think the Coconut Crabs have just been together and just always in the right place in the right time.
They are definitely communicating a lot more better so far in this game. They are traveling together as a unit more here, making sure that they're not getting caught out.
As turret plating is falling, the Coconut Crabs got a lot out of turret plates this game. The top turret's almost dead. The mid turret has a lot of progress.
We are 15 seconds away for the second dragon, so this is that's why we're seeing a huge kind of like ARAM style happen in the main lane, mid lane. They're trying to catch some people out so that they can.
LunarBound trying really hard to catch emminik, but there's no follow up, and now he's caught out of.
Seraphine went to the gym within the past 5 minutes, and she said, "Not today."
Really good play by emminik on the Seraphine this game. I'm happy that he didn't lose confidence in the pick, and he's showing what he can do with it this game.
And I mean, just take a look at the Coconut Crabs. Like, everybody is positive. There's 4 people that have bounty on them. Zyra has not died at all. She has 4 assists. They are exactly where they need to be right now. They've got 2 dragons. Now they've got the tower. Everyone on the Coconut teams is exactly where they need to be. However, you can't get too you can't be too risky yet, because Gwen, Akshan, I mean, it's not completely over yet for the Knights, is what I'm
at the risk of sounding like we're talking of Coconut Crabs up too much. I think Milk for Cookies has had some really important plays this game. It doesn't look like it from his score, but I think he's done there was a really important kill early on, and his stealing the Rift Herald, I think, saved them a lot of gold just from turret plates and from the map pressure advantage. And I think Quinstone, until quite recently, was actually really far ahead in lane. I think there was at one point where he was 25 CS up on DrMcWeenBean. So the Knights are not rolling over in this game. They are very much still in it.
One oopsie whoopsie can change the whole thing.
Yeah, if you look at how much shutdown gold is available on the side of Coconut Crabs, one really big team fight could swing this game a lot back towards the favor of the Knights.
So Seraphine used a teleport on the bot turret. I don't really know why.
I am not sure either. I do not have objective timers up. Is the dragon up soon? There we go. No, the dragon is not up soon. I'm not sure.
Ooh. Good attempt on a gulp there, on a gank. There are 3 people on the top lane, so really probably want Coconut to take advantage of that. Just look how lit, though, the bot lane is.
Sarah, too, is playing a stealth game in the bottom lane, but she gets caught by the guards. Only just barely doesn't manage to take out emminik. That would have been a really big shutdown. This is potentially another really good Wits End game for Akshan, with so much AP on the side of Coconut Crabs. That was also notable in the last game of Akshan that Sarah 2 played. It was a very, very good Wits End game, which is quite a strong item.
Ooh.
And this is what I'm talking about with the comp from Coconut Crabs. You can see in the mid lane how they're just, the Varus and Zyra are just poking Misfortune and LunarBound out of the lane. They have to just sit back and wait for the wave.
Will they? Can they? I think they will.
Yeah, DrMcWeenBean cannot outrun Rams.
Oh my god, the taunt!
Oh, he almost did.
Oh, the taunt! Oh, that's kind of tilting. Okay.
And they do pick up the shutdown, so that's really big for Quinstone. Can they see chat on the stream?
Yes, they can.
DrMcWeenBean also had no idea what that taunt was. He was quite astounded by it.
Great timing on that, just to really make sure that they
Coconut Crabs
Get
looking
that
to
kill.
extend their lead by picking up the Rift Herald. It doesn't look like there's going to be a contest coming out. Only LunarBound is in the neighborhood. Milk for cookies with the Rammus fact. Rammus taunt is a projectile, which if you dash at the same time that Rammus uses his taunt, it actually has to catch up to you.
Oh. Snapple
That's very
fact.
interesting. That's a Snapple fact. Rammus taunt actually has travel time if you dash away at the exact moment he uses it.
Did not know. Oh. Ocean Dragon is up in 22 seconds. That will be the third one if Coconut Crabs is able to get it, which will
Coconut
then...
Crabs not quite ready for the dragon. They do not have the positional advantage. The Knights are ready for them. So we'll see. I think the Knights really want to get this dragon for the same reason that Coconut Crabs didn't want to give up dragons last game, is they're starting to get too far behind.
And here's the thing to note, Jax does not have teleport.
That is true.
So this is...
He's either got to start running now or just give up on being there for this. And it doesn't look like he's coming.
Actually...
Oh, but now it's not going to be a 4v5 because Quinstone gets taken out by the poke.
Yeah, that was actually a good...
And it's working out even better for him now because now he can just continue
He's
pushing.
just going, and there's...
And they have to send people to stop him.
Oh my gosh. And the third dragon does go over to... Wow. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of big plays that just happened right there.
Yeah, it was a bit of I think it was a bit of a risky play by Coconut Crabs, committing to a 4v5 fight over the dragon, but it worked out really well for them. They got an inhibitor turret for them, and the dragon still went to their team.
Yeah, and I think it was... I mean, we have to give credit where credit is due, and if my memory is correct, I think that Zyra plant root landed on the Gwen... Well, no, landed on the Rammus, which really helped them secure... I don't know, was it the Gwen or the Rammus? One of them, to make it not a 5v4. I don't know. They landed
really
CC on a very important person that really helped.
I think that's an interview question. I am very interested in the thought process behind that the dragon play that happened there.
All right, note that down because I have real bad memory.
It is written down.
Very good. So what do you think the Knights need to do right now?
So I think that they have the potential to catch people out. So there's a lot of squishy champions on the side of Coconut Crabs. The Seraphine, squishy, no escape except like the stun of her ultimate. The Varus, the same thing. Zyra, the same thing. Each of these champions has a stun, and once they use it, all they can do is walk away from you, and they're very squishy. So I think with the Rammus and the Rel, the Knights have the potential to catch people out and get kills. The problem with that is that you're relying on Coconut Crabs to make mistakes in order for that to work. But I think that's your best shot right now in this game, is I think you need to be grouped up looking for picks in order to get back into this game. Because fighting 5v5 right now doesn't look like it's something that's going to work out.
I agree with that.
I think the thing that's been going wrong for the Knights this game is that they have a lot of champions that are very strong solo 1v1 fighters, the Akshan, the Gwen. These champions want to be going around and taking fights with people that are by themselves. But the problem is that they're behind. The Akshan is behind and the Gwen is behind. So Akshan can't go fight somebody 1v1 and kill them because he's gonna die.
Yep. There is a bit of a 10 gold 10k, I can't. 10k gold
10,000.
difference. It looks like they are going to try and go for that Baron.
Now, I'm not sure I like this by the Coconut Crab.
I also feel a little
starting Baron with
nervous.
10 alive
Yeah.
is the most famous way to throw a game.
The Jax does have ult, and I think he's going to be needing to come in very soon.
But a pretty big Seraphine ult hits a couple people, but it looks like they're taking a lot of damage, and the Misfortune ult.
And that's an ace.
That was almost a really good fight for the Knights. I think they started it really well, but I think they weren't able to clean up, and I think the Coconut Crabs just walked backwards and threw abilities. They have
Yeah,
the
I
range
think
and the...
I didn't entirely see because I got distracted by the Jax teleport. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Coconut Crabs landed a lot of good CC and just kept kiting, waiting for that Jax to come in, and he was able to do a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, they had a really good Misfortune ult that looked like it might be winning the fight,
Yeah.
but then after the initial burst of damage, the Coconut Crabs were just walking away and throwing abilities. The Varus abilities, the Zyra shots, the Seraphine shots. They just walk away and shoot, and the Knights just have to walk into you. They're all melee champs. And they
Yeah,
didn't have the
actually-
stickiness or the damage to keep up.
I just got a light bulb. Yeah, I mean, 4/5 of the team. Well, Axon is a little bit range, but yeah, they have to go in your face. And meanwhile, the Coconut Crabs is pretty range heavy and kiting. So that is a thing that I didn't think about.
Apparently, I must have missed it, but someone in the chat, apparently Nova did something very impressive during the fight. Possibly a really big, I would guess, a really big Varus ult or a really big Varus Q that hit a bunch of people.
Oh,
But I unfortunately, and Sarah too is gone.
she
I'm
may
expecting a pause any
have
second now.
her internet. I know she was having some internet issues
And
yesterday.
The pause coming in a second.
Oh man, what a intense game. I feel the stress and I am holding my breath. How are you feeling? Okay, that's a problem.
Are we unpausing?
They unpaused it without the warning.
Yeah, that is. I think that's a breach of the rules.
Kind of. We will
Well, anyway,
have to reconvene about that later.
Maybe talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
Oh, my game has froze.
my game is also frozen.
Okay, what is going on with spectator mode?
Oh, it's back. Okay. Spectator client's dying a little bit. So, can the Knights... That's what we've been asking this question for a while. Can the Knights get back into this game? Is it too late?
I don't think so. I think
I'm going to say yes, because just saying the game is over is very boring. I think they can still do it.
yeah, no. That's what I was meaning. Is I feel like they do have an opportunity to come back, but you have to. I think they have to play it very, very smartly. I think right now they need to kind of turtle and see if they can catch somebody out. Or
Like, Coconut Crab's actually having a 1-3-1 here with Seraphine split pushing along with the Jax. So they're just fighting all three of the towers at the same time.
Yep, and it's interesting to see how in last game the Knights had the 4 dragons, the Soul, the Elder Dragon, the Baron, and now this time the Coconut Crabs have that. Is there something special about the red side?
Yeah, I think red side might just be OP. So last game, the Knights got every single objective the entire game. They got every Rift Herald, every Dragon, every Baron, every Elder Dragon.
Oh, great Seraphine ult to stop the auction. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Misfortune. I think that might have been the last hurrah of the Knights.
I don't
just
know
now.
how Nova
They
is
had their
alive.
last shot. DrMcWeenBean giving his life for the last 2 kills, and that's going to be the game.
Maybe
That's it for
they
the
could
Knights.
hold the door.
I don't think anyone's alive.
They're holding the door.
minions
They're
will
holding the
spawn
door.
and save the
Okay,
day.
the door has been cracked.
So yeah, I think red side might just be OP. Every single objective in game 1 and in game 2, except for the Rift Herald that was stolen by Milk for Cookies, every single objective in game 2 went to the coconut crabs.
Wow.
Okay, so if anyone in chat has any questions for any player or any team, now is the time to ask. Your questions will be asked by us, the casters, unless they're way too mean.
Alrighty, then. And with that, as we are gradually getting some questions in, I'm going to go ahead and let the teams know that they can come on in.
And before I forget to say it, just really great games from everyone all around. Really exciting series.
I feel stressed.
I'm not stressed at all. That was great to watch.
I am also like mildly heated and hot right now because oh my god, I'm dying here.
Got a big Nova fan in chat.
Alrighty, as the teams are slowly trickling in, just want to reiterate what Guaba Fett was saying. Really good series. 101. Love to see it. I don't know how you guys do it. My palms are sweaty. I'm sure you're probably sweaty from head to toe. But we're going to go ahead and get into the post-match interviews. So for game 1, as we usually do, maybe if the captains of each team can kind of talk us through your thought process for game 1 for the pick and bans. I'm going to start for the team that was on the blue side. So emminik, let me see if you're server muted. You are not. If you can talk through your pick and bans for game 1. You are muted.
Now I am not muted. I muted myself too and just forgot because I'm a dummy.
No problem.
We approached this one knowing that we're like there's just no way to ban out all of Quinlan's stuff. So we tried to take like the 1 or 2 things away that we didn't want to deal with, specifically in game 2, the Mordekaiser. But mostly it was just about like taking the OP stuff off of Lunar and Sarah and then attacking Milk and Cookie's narrow champ pool. Milk is relatively new to the league, and so as someone who is a Fizz main for a long time and never gets to play him, although you guys let the Fizz through it, at least in game 1, welcome to being banned out of your mains, my guy. We wanted to try to make him as uncomfortable as possible. He slapped us with it with that attack though in game 1. He played super well on the Shyvana, but we knew if we left Rammus up in game 2 he would take it, so we opted for like a poke situation to try to counter that, and it worked out pretty well. So that was kind of our strat.
I guess
between the 2
question
games.
to that then, since the Fizz ban didn't come out in the first round, maybe you could talk me through of the Seraphine pick over the Fizz.
So Sarah is objectively the best player in the league, and like I know even if I get my main, I'm probably still gonna lose, especially when she has red side counter pick. So I'd rather just take something that's not going to interact with the laning phase, clear out the wave, and just go other places and help other people. Because she's just going to hand me my booty if I try to straight up go for it. She's just too good. So
No, that makes sense.
Play to win the game in other ways. I will happily eat my ego in order to make that happen.
Oh, love to see that. Alrighty, I guess then, Quinstone, if you can do the same and talk through your thought process for the pick and bans for game 1.
Yeah, sure. So we seem to have found our stride, like what we like doing, having counter picks for Sarah too, especially on red side, the ultimate counter pick and whatnot. They left Aurelia up, which is this kind of surprising, but spending 3 or 4 bans on one person's feels kind of bad, man. So they picked the Rammus and banned Amumu, and we're like, okay, no, we have options here. We're not just Milk is not just a one trick, right? So he's played AP Shyvana. We got a bunch of other picks too, but MF as you saw in yesterday's game and in game one, I think it worked well. It's just like we have like a good death ball, we have a good damage everywhere, pretty even damage, and MF Leona a classic, and I got my Mordekaiser. Pretty happy about that. So even though Mordekaiser wasn't banned, Mordekaiser wasn't banned, and I probably could have played Mordekaiser into Urgot. We still want the Urgot out here, and we know that Yone is something that emminik plays a lot. So it's like, okay, that's like a team fight high damage person that's a hyper carry and long range team wide ult. Yeah, we're not having it, and so we're getting rid of that. We know it's been a special from his Sea Slug days. And unfortunately, we didn't ban the Seraphine game 2, but there's a whole lot more problems in that game too for Team Knights here. But
yes.
We'll get that to when we get game 2, I guess.
So Guavafet, do you have any specific questions related to game 1?
I think most of my questions are directed towards game 2, actually.
All right, yeah, that typically happens. Because game 2 we just finished, so it's a lot more fresh. Team.
It's not a question, but I have to say I really, really liked the strategy from Coconut Crab's game 1 with banning a Mumu and then first picking Rammus. I thought it was genius. It's like you get an extra ban.
The classic.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you. It didn't work out. They slapped us with it, but but we tried.
Alrighty then. Well, it seems like chat doesn't have any questions for game 1, and we don't either. So we're going to go ahead and go into the exciting game 2. So kind of going back again, I'm going to start with instead Quinstone this time around. Talk us through your pick and bans for game 2.
Righto. Turns out if you go with the same strategy every game, it doesn't keep working. And so, we try to do another kind of like death ball-y kind of thing of, Rel and MF really good team fighting and, putting Milk on comfort. And we needed an AP top. Mordekaiser was banned. I'm like, okay, well, it's Gwen time. Hopefully, I was hoping maybe like a Darius would come out from DrMcWeenBean, but he picked the Jax. So, I think, I think this is really good adaptation by Coconut Crabs in pretty much every way. Like, I think we've kind of showed this exact hand too many times, and we'll mix it up. We'll get fresh and frisky. We're definitely gonna evolve and whatnot, and show that we got a lot more flexibility than it seems. But it looks like you drafted really, really, really well. Darn it.
All right.
And it showed in the scoreboards.
So emminik, if you can talk us through, you got the sad defeat screen in game 1, got to refresh your mental state. How did you guys think through for the pick and bans for game 2?
I honestly believe game 1 was like the difference. Game 1 was dragon control for us and executing around Dragon Pit. And I blame myself mostly for all of that. Like, Sarah had a really beautiful pick on me right before 3rd dragon, which was like the one dragon we had to fight and win for. So like, and I called for some really stupid fights in our jungle right before 4th dragon as well, and then they get soul. So like, execution wise, like I knew, okay, I gotta chill, I gotta reset myself. That was totally on me. I'm making these calls. Because like everything else seemed to be working, at least for the first 15-ish minutes. We were really, if not even, slightly ahead. I can't remember exactly. And we definitely drafted to outscale. So we knew game 1 was super winnable if we didn't mis-execute. And that's totally my bad. But so let's just come back to the same idea and actually commit to the 4-1, actually commit to what we were trying to draft for and play it out correctly. And we knew we had a good shot at taking a game, so we did just that. Yeah, and we knew since we couldn't do the Amumu Rammus first pick shenanigans because we're red side, we knew he was going to take Rammus because it's his main. So we just drafted a ton of poke and roots, and Varus absolutely slaughters Rammus. So yeah, we just knew it was coming, so we could prepare for it and draft.
Love to see how you guys adapted pretty quickly for game 2. One thing that I'm surprised that my fish member remembers is that dragon fight where the Jax was in the top lane pushing that top lane. And I don't remember who landed the root or something on either Gwen or Rammus, but that really helped you guys to be able to take that dragon and allow Jax to continue that pressure. Can you just maybe talk us through of what was kind of going on in the comms during that fight, if you can remember? That was for emminik.
Sorry. What was the question? I got distracted by a teammate.
It's okay.
In comms, we knew that after we got the pick on, I believe it was Gwen, we knew we were going to be able to get the drag, but we intentionally decided to take it slowly to try and keep as many people around as we could, so that Jax could push a little harder. So that's a lot of what was going on in our comms at the time.
Yes, it's the impossible problem, right? Do you take the fight with us? Do you take the dragon, or do you stop the split push? It's a chess thing.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the idea.
Well played.
Or at least I think it's a chess thing. I'm not actually sure.
I don't know. Zanrick's a chess player, right?
I'll choose not to comment on that one.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Bad question. Golfit, do you have any questions for game 2?
So I do. You kind of asked my dragon question
sorry.
already, but you stole my question.
I'm sorry.
But I do have a question. And you absolutely feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. But my analysis, I think both games were obviously anything can happen in a game, but I think a lot of what happened in both games happened because of the draft. I think the first game, the draft of coconut crabs, didn't have a lot of damage once they got behind to deal with the really big tanky champions of the Knights. So I wanted to ask, like, your thought process going from game 1 to game 2, what you thought went wrong and how you fixed it in game 2. Because game 1 was like extremely close up until the 4th dragon, and then it all spilled over. But game 2, forgive me, was kind of a slaughterfest.
Okay, so game 1 we did have damage. We just had to get to it. Like, eventually Nasus can 1v9. Eventually Triss takes over. But, like, they're gonna slow scale. So we got caught with our pants down at the worst time to get caught with our pants down in game 1, where we're like right at the mid game where they're power spiking and we're not, and we need to just like get one dragon to buy us another 5 minutes or something like that, and then I get picked right before 4th dragon spawns. So like it was just like the perfect play that Sarah could have made to put us in a bad position. So like we did have the damage, we just never got to it, which felt bad. But in draft 2, like when you know you're dealing with a Rammus and in like a straight engage situation, you can just draft poke, and so we did that for ourselves. Yeah, but more game 2's like adjustment in damage was more about knowing their jungler than it was about like we thought we didn't have enough damage to fight.
It was kind of incredible to see how well the poke comp worked against the Knights, because I feel they've been, as Quinstone said earlier, they've been consistently drafting a similar team comp where they have a lot of melee champions and a lot of engage, and the strategy of just pick a bunch of poke champs and run away from them seemed to work out incredibly well for the coconut crabs.
Yeah, the poke comp only really is viable if you have a lot of CC to disengage, like with the Seraphine all and the Zyra root and all, like, and also the Varus. So all these poking champs also have things to keep the enemy away from them as well. So if we were lacking any of that and we're playing something like a Vel'Koz, it wouldn't be as effective.
All right. Any other questions from those watching the stream or Wobbuffet?
I do have one more question. I feel like I feel like I'm putting him on the spot. All my questions are for emminik. This question is more of a humorous one. Emminik, did you and Sarah too have some kind of like fight in the parking lot or something? It seemed like half the kills from the entire series were just the two of you solo killing each other.
I mean, like Sarah and I, so we had a scrimmage maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know exactly how long it was, and she beat the snot out of me. Like I haven't been handed my booty like so thoroughly in League of Legends in a long time. And like in that scrim, she took Zed in game 2, and I was like 0-9, by like 20 minutes. It was insane how hard she just kicked my butt. So in the time since then, I've been like begging her for as many 1v1s as possible, and like just like trying to like get her to like play with me or help coach me or whatever else, just because like she's so good that like any time you get in game with Sarah is valuable. And so now she like is gonna come down and try to troll me at any opportunity she gets, because we've been playing against each other for a while. So like I think that's more just like her putting me in my place a little bit, which is valid. But no beef at all. Like, she's phenomenal and plays a crazy game. But like, yeah, we like to go at it. It's a good time.
All right.
Well, I do believe I am out of questions, and the chat does not have a lot.
All right, sounds good. I do want to let LunarBound know you have a huge fan base. Lots of chants. Oh, he's not in here, but okay, maybe he's listening. I don't know. If you are, you've got a huge fan base. Love to see it. With that, we'll go ahead and do MVPs. So I guess we'll start with Quinstone, MVP for the enemy team and your team. You can do game 1, separate game 2, or combined.
For the enemy team, I want to say probably emminik. He was constantly keeping Sarah kind of pinned. Like, she was behind for a while, and she didn't get even with Irelia, didn't get the high lead in the first game that she really, really wanted. You guys played pretty carefully around her and played pretty well, a lot of high pressure stuff. So, and I think that was really well played in the lane. So, give it to emminik, and second game too. You know what, emminik, yeah, I like that guy, him. For my team, that's a little harder, and it would be just way too egotistical for me to say me, and I don't even believe it anyway. First game, I think I'll give it to Lux. I think consistent play all the time.
Okay. Alrighty, so same question for you, emminik.
So, for the Knights, I think, yeah, Misfortune in game 1 was like absolutely slapping us, but I think like the most consistent threat we had to deal with all the time was either the solo lanes, Quinstone and Sarah, or Lunar. Like, Lunar's Leona is just always on point. Those ults like really set up Lux in great ways. Lux hit some huge fat ultimates like in game 1. It was really nice. So yeah, I guess I'll give it game 1 of the for the Knights. I'll give it to Quinstone, and Sarah game 2 I'll give it to Lunar, and then like runner up in both situations is Lux. But for my team, MVP is everyone but me. Seraphine is a champ. Seraphine is a champ that doesn't participate except for ultis and stuff like that, and just like makes people chase her. I got hard carried by these guys. Their mentality was insane. The rest of my team like absolutely stepped up in huge ways. Everybody but me is MVP for today.
He's too modest.
Yes.
Really impressive in performance on Seraphine by emminik.
Whether or not you believe that.
I literally was there to farm minions and run away. Like, that's all she does.
Hey man, it's a team game. Every person counts. So I don't know. But with that, anything else from anyone else who's joined us for the interviews that they'd like to say to the team, the enemy team, or to those watching the stream? Let me see if anybody is got their voice taken away from them. Slowly removing server mute from folks. There we go. So if anybody has any final comments that they'd like to say,
I do have one more question.
Sure.
Question is for Milk for Cookies. Could you explain about the Rammus taunt being a projectile? Could you elaborate on that? I thought that was really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Doc said the same thing.
I'm not 100% sure about this. I might be remembering incorrectly, but I'm like 99% sure Rammus taunt actually is like just a little tiny invisible projectile. Very short range, obviously, but like you can do things with it. Like if you're a wizard, like you can Yasuo, Windwall, or Ramestant. Right.
You can do it for Lulu Polymorph as well.
Lulu Polymorph is a projectile?
Yeah, it's a projectile.
So
You can
is-
win-wall it.
So is Senna ult. You can flash over it. Like you can
Well,
stand in the middle. And
I know
flash
that's
at
a
the right time and it
projectile,
dodges.
but
200 years, dude.
that's incredible.
200 years.
Wow.
We saw in game where you taunted Jax right as he leap striked. So he leap striked and then almost turned around in midair.
We literally both went Yanni.
Yeah, that I put that pink down by accident. I was trying to drink a pot and I had it on the wrong keys. But that pink, huge value. It saved me twice almost. We'll take that. Also, you know, you guys are, I don't want to say it, but the Elite Warrior himself is going to come out one of these days, all right? And I can't wait for when it comes out. I know you guys are scared today.
I didn't see a Vayne ban.
I'll be honest, I know you looked at my op.gg. You saw those 4 S's in a row earlier today on Tom Kench himself, the Elite Warrior, champion of the people, and I'm ready to bring him out next time.
We were actually talking about that in draft.
That's all right. Nobody wants to see the catfish, but I'm ready to bring him out.
Unload this toad.
Unbench the Kench.
Uninhibit the ribbit.
Oh my god. All right.
Unclog the frog.
I want to say great stuff to Quinlan because we played that Gwen Jax matchup in the scrimmage, that exact same matchup, and I think I played it much better this time.
Yeah. Turns out you just there it is. You figured
No,
it out, and now I can't do it.
Feeling myself
Unplayable.
after that flash predict.
Yeah, I was like, it feels bad, man.
I was really
well
feeling
played.
myself. No,
Really
yeah,
well
but
played.
you slapped me first game though, so feels good. I fucked up so bad first game though. Oh my god.
Hey.
Oh my bad. My bad.
You're good.
Emminik's very modest. That first game was his fault. It was absolutely my fault. Don't let him tell you any different, all right? I was using TP to get back to lane instead of holding it to actually split effectively. That game would have gone a lot smoother if I played it better.
Yo, why even have a captain if you can't blame him for stuff?
Because it was my fault, you silly banana. All right, GG's though.
All right. Thank you guys for a wonderful match. Love to see it. Hope to see maybe a rematch later in this tournament. But with that, thank you, Guabafet, for casting with me. Thank you all those for watching. And just a reminder, our next match for week 2 will be on Monday at 8:30 p.m. of the Night Owls versus the Glazed Non-Human Primates. With that, have a good rest of your night. Oh God, wait.
every stolen kiss, every late night walk, every secret wish, every second chance, every time we dance underneath the light of the street lamp. Ooh.